In day 2, we're first going to talk about a polynomial function, and it's just a function whose role is a polynomial. So looking at a nice application, we see this medical application about cardiac output and how it's measured by a technique called dilution. So really the important part is that first it's represented by this function, and it represents, or f of t represents the concentration of dye. So t is time, and the actual function evaluated is the concentration. So the first thing it's asking us to do is to evaluate the function for when time is 0 and when time is 3. So you're just going to substitute 0 in for t. 0, 0, 5, 6, 0 to the third power, minus 0.22 times 0 to the second, plus 2.33 times 0, which equals 0. And then evaluate the function at 3. And you can just put this in your calculator. Just the way I have it written. And when you put that in your calculator, I don't know how many decimal places it says. It doesn't really, so I'm just going to go 4 decimal places. This is actually milligrams per liter. So describe what the values of the function from part A represents. So the function at 0 represents the concentration of the dye at the start, and f of 3 is the concentration of dye after 3 seconds. Okay, so you go ahead and do the check it out. You're given a different function. Evaluate the function for t equals 4 and t equals 17, and then describe what the values of the function represent. Follows along to the prior example. The second one, I'm not going to write out the whole substitution. I think you got the point. You should have gotten this answer. F of 4's concentration after 4 seconds, and the 17 is concentration after 17 seconds. Graphing higher degree polynomials. This you want to do on Desmos, and by the looks of your midterm, some of you still don't know how to use Desmos, or you just chose not to use it, and you certainly need to pay attention when we do this as the extra examples. I can't show you here in this video how to do the Desmos, but I can when we do the extra examples. So when you, first off, you're going to graph this in Desmos, then describe the graph and identify the real zeros. So if you would graph the first one, x to the third minus x in Desmos, you're going to come up with, and you just draw a general graph. It does not have to be really that great. And then describe it from left to right. And it increases, then decreases slightly, and increases again. How many zeros does it, real zeros does it have? That means how many times is it across the x-axis? So it has 3 real zeros. For B, same thing. Just give a general graph from left to right. It only increases. And it has 1 real zero. C, if you would put that in the graph in Desmos, it's going to look like a W. It comes down, goes up, comes down, and up, something like that. From left to right, it decreases, increases, decreases, then increases. Crosses the x-axis 4 times. And the last one, so again, I would make sure that you know how to put these in Desmos. Something like that. Left to right, it decreases, then increases. And it only crosses the x-axis twice. Okay, you try the check it outs and then check your answers on here. Hopefully you were able to get those answers. Let's close the 6.1. Describe different ways to classify or name a polynomial. We can name it by the number of terms, binomial, trinomial, polynomial, 4 terms, and by its degree. How do you recognize a real zero of a function? It's represented by the graph. crossing the x-axis. And your homework is listed on Schoology, but it'll be 14 to 18, 54 to 58. And this ends day 2, and you need to submit this on Schoology then as the notes assignment.